Okay guys, I've been asked by somebody to do a video on making a zero clearance plate for this saw in particular. This is the Cobalt 10-inch, the one with the rack and pinion fence on both sides. Excellent saw in my opinion. I've had it for a few months now, and compared to the one I used to have, it's a lot more accurate. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a zero clearance plate for this. Okay, first things first, let's get it on there. Now I'm going to put that on there so we get it straight on the edge. The least cutting we have to do, the better. I think I'll do the same up here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mark it all out. So we're just going to go around to there, around there, and around there. Now I think what I'll probably do is I'll cut this out, and then I think I'll use a router bit and just use this as a guide. I think that's the way we're going to go about it. Okay, I was going to use that one and guide off that, just realising I can't sit the wood on top of that. I have to sit the wood below it and put that on the top. So I need one where the ring, the guide, is on the top and not on the bottom. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're going to stick this onto here, but at the moment I'm just going to line it up so that we're in the correct position for actually cutting it. And to do that, we want the guide running on that and making sure that the blade is cutting everything.
Okay guys, when you're sticking this down, I'm using double-sided tape here, but I don't know whether the tape was crap or not, but it wasn't really strong enough, because when I did start routing it, it did actually move a little bit, which is why you'll see me using a sander on the edges later on. But if you're doing this correctly and it doesn't move at all, then you should get a perfect fit with the router and using the plate as a template. But as I say, make sure it's really secure so that it does not move at all. Just going to tidy up the ends a little bit here guys, because when I was routing it, it did actually move the thing here, so it wasn't exactly accurate. So I'm just tidying it up a little bit. Okay, just another quick tip guys, while my blade is out of the saw, I decided to give it a clean because I have been smelling a little bit of burning lately, and it's not due to the blade being blunt, it's just full of crap. So what I've done is put a bit of water in the bucket and a bit of washing up liquid, and we'll just leave the sitting there overnight. Take it out in the morning, give it a brush off, and then wipe it down and put it back in. The brush I'm using here to clean it off, guys, it's just a soft haired brush. It's actually one of the attachments of the shop vac that I've got. Just the one with the fibres on it that makes it like a little brush. Okay, back to the zero clearance plate. It's a little bit tight here going in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in the vise and I'm going to give it a quick sand and just tidy it up. Much better fit. Now what we've got to do here is, as you can see, it's high on one side. We've kind of got to start putting in the measurements to reduce the width inside in certain places. You can understand what I mean as we go along. Okay, I need to put the blade back in for the next bit, so we're going to use the blade and the old throat plate. Okay, on the zero clearance plate that we just made, we've got to take so much off one side of it. We've already measured it and we're just setting the blade to the height that we need to now. And then what we'll do is we'll start taking that depth off the zero clearance plate that we've made. Now all we're doing here is taking a little bit off at a time. Move the fence, take a bit more off, move the fence, just like as if you're doing a rabbit. Double check the amount you need to take off, guys, when you're setting the blade. I set mine a little bit too high here and took off a little bit too much, but I managed to salvage it, which you'll see how I done that later on. Okay, what we're doing here, there's a couple of little lugs underneath. We're marking up their positions so that we can trim away at the bottom. No need to go too deep here, guys, but if you do, you You can always use a couple of spacers underneath. Now the two I'm about to mark out on this side, you don't need to do that because you've already trimmed it off underneath. Now this piece we're putting on now goes underneath the front, so it locks it down. It slides underneath the front of the table saw, as you can see now, so it locks the front end down. Now these are the pieces for the latch to lock the back end down. What you have to do is you put a small piece on there first, set back, so that when you glue it on, you've got a little bit of a gap in between the piece that we're sticking on and the zero clearance plate itself. So there's the gap between the edge and the piece we're sticking down. Now the next piece that we stick down, we stick on top of that, but we do it flush towards the edge of the zero clearance plate, and what that does is it gives us the gap for the latch to slide into. Okay, these are just pieces of old hardboard that I had knocking around the garage that I've cut down to size. They just happen to be roughly the right size that I need to create the gap for the latch to slide into. So just bear that in mind when you're making these little pieces to glue on. Okay, this is draft excluded, guys, and we're using this as a kind of spacers to make up for the fact that we took too much off it on the when we were cutting it. So just be careful when you're measuring out, so you can get this thing to fit a little bit better than what I did if you take your time about it. I'm basically making this video for YouTube, but by the time we finished, we've added a few bits of draft excluder here and there, and by the time we finished, it's actually quite a nice fit, a snug fit, and it's nice and flush with the deck. So although it might look a little bit loose at times now, by the time we finished, it is a snug little fit. Just a quick one here, guys. While I had the blade out, I left it in soak overnight in water and washing up liquid. And the reason I done that is I was starting to smell a little bit of burning occasionally on some of the cuts I was starting to do, and that was down to gunk being on the end of the carbides. It wasn't because the blade was blunt, it's just because there was crap all over the carbides. So what I done, I left it in soak overnight, give it a clean with a bit of a soft brush, and put it back on obviously. But this is just while I had the blade out. I just thought I'd throw this tip in.
Nice and flush, guys, nice and flat. Now what I did do is on the end pieces here, I actually put some of this stuff around the bottom. The stuff that we used as spacers for there, which was this stuff, I think it's draft excluder. I also put it round the edge there and the edge there, and it's making it such a perfect fit that I'm more than happy with it. Locks into place, it's all flush, and next thing you've got to do is put the blade back in and bring it up. So let's bring it up. Put my hand underneath so I don't lose the bolt. This is turned off, by the way, guys. There's no power going to the unit. Make sure the blade's going in the right way round. Okay. Now, ideally, guys, what you need to do here is take out the riving knife, take it out altogether, so that when you bring this up, the riving knife is not hitting that. The blade just goes through. But unfortunately, on this saw, I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to take this out altogether. So if anybody knows about that, please let me know in the comments, because I just cannot figure it out at all. Apart from that, I love the saw. Lower that down. Okay, we're all down. Now, it's not going to go and sit in all the way down, because obviously the blade is there now. So what we need to do now is I'm just going to put a scrap of wood here just across the base here, so that the base here doesn't jump out or move. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a block of wood here, and I'm going to turn this on, turn the power on. That's all we can get it through because of the riving knife. So what I'm going to do here, I'll show you in a second.
Now all we're going to do here is flip it over, make sure we secure that bottom end again so that it doesn't jump out. We're going to, the section where we've already cut, we're going to place the blade into that as much as we can, secure that bottom end, use the block again to push down the front end, switch it on and the blade will come through, and then take it up as much as you can, keeping an eye on that far end to see when the riving knife is starting to push it up, and then stop. Once you see it's starting to lift like it did then, stop, lower your blade, turn it off and take it out. And what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of extend that cut with a handsaw. Just get a rough idea where your riving knife is and mark it up on the top. Okay guys, sorry about the camera work here. All you can see is my sleeve most of the time. But what I've actually done here is I've actually extended it already a little bit, and I'm just making it a little bit wider now so that the riving knife can fit through that gap. And what it is basically then, it's basically just a question of trial and adjust until you get it right, and that's basically it really. As I say, we put it back onto the table saw, we're trying it again, and after cutting it so the blade comes up a bit more, it's still touching with the riving knife. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out again, and we're going to put it on the bench again and just extend it or widen it a little bit more until it fits nice and snugly. Now here the power is off when my hands are down there guys, just don't do that when the power is on, make sure it's all switched off. Okay, that's about it really guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave a like at the very least. If not, maybe a comment, maybe even thinking about subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.